Chukudi, what exactly is your work? 2 years, you have sold phone, you have sold car, you have sold shoes, and now you are selling furniture. What exactly is your work? Now, are you like Chukudi that you have been selling different kind of things? I understand. I'm sure it's because you are trying to make ends meet. Country hard. That is one of the reasons why in the next 100 days, I'm going to be showing you a better way of doing this thing. How you can find purpose, how you can stay and focus on a business and build it and become a huge name. I'm going to be teaching you how to build a successful business. And even if you decide that you want to go online and you want to diversify, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. And also I'm going to be fixing that mindset of yours that has been taking you pure. Join me on this 100-day journey. It's absolutely free. Titled Mind and Money. I am going to be teaching you skills that will help you transform not just your mind but also your pocket. Click on the link below to get registered. See you there. You know say too much garri dey cause alcohol, and you know say this your garri wey you dey take na because of Satan. Now let me show you how you can increase your income. Let me show you ways like stop drinking garri every single day. There are other types of food. There's rice, there's beans, there's chicken, there's so many other things. But you cannot afford those things if you rely on only one source of income, which is your salary. In the next 100 days, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make money both from cryptocurrency, forex, and from owning a business. And that is not just all. I'll be adding a bonus on teaching you life skills, how to get out of depression, how to handle breakup, and how to live a best life. If you are interested in turning finance around, click on the link below and join me on this transformative journey. It is absolutely free. Stop drinking garri every time. Because I said it's free doesn't mean that the link is going to remain open forever. Get on board. I'll see you then.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 91. Okay, so this is today is we're going to be talking about a very important topic in this our life coaching session, and the topic today is the message in your misfortune. The message in your misfortune, right? Okay, so I'll try and be as direct and as quick as possible, so we can, get as much as we should or we ought to in today's series, right? Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people understand the meaning of misfortune. A lot of us, a lot of us understand what misfortune is about, right? So basically, excuse me. I don't know if it's because I'm too excited about the topic or if it's just misfortune. All right, so let's talk about it. The message in your misfortune. Now, the word misfortune means something unfavorable, an unfavorable event, an adverse event, a circumstance, an unfavorable circumstance, or an outcome that brings about hardship, distress, suffering, to people, right? It ranges from a whole lot, right? There's a wide range of negative experiences, that can impact your life, and all of those are misfortunes. Now, have you ever tried playing Monopoly before? Then you roll the dice just as you are starting the game. You roll the dice, and the first place you are landing is take a chance. And you pick a chance, and the first thing you are saying is go to jail. And the question is, why me? That question, a lot of people ask it, why me? And I like to respond with a very simple answer. If not you, who is deserving of it? Who is deserving of misfortune? Who is best suited to have misfortunes? Who? All right, so I don't know where I should start from, but I'm going to read 2 articles to us, just 2. And the first one is by one of Nigeria's greatest, Tai Solarin. And the second is by is one of the greatest speeches that has ever been written, right? By John Roberts, right? John Roberts is that or was the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, right? So he gave a speech. So I'm going to pick these two. I'll read out. I'll read out a part of John Roberts' speech, the Chief Justice, and I'm going to read out the entire um, article from Taisolarin, right? I want you to pay attention to this, and I will tell you the whole idea at the end of this, right? So it's going to be a long read, so pay attention. Now, the title of the article that Taisolarin wrote is "May Your Road Be Rough." I'm sure anytime you hear "May Your Road Be Rough," you are thinking, this guy, you know, go better for you. Because you are expecting somebody to say, I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best. As you go to school, I mean, let you pass your exam, do this one, do this one. All those prayers are very good, right? So, but most times, understand certain things. So, let me start by saying, in the words of Taisolarin, may your road be rough. Now, I read it. He said, I'm not cursing you. I am wishing you what I wish myself. I therefore repeat, may you have a hard time this year. You know, this is that time when you say God punish you, thunder fire, you know. He said, may there be plenty of troubles for you this year. If you're not sure what you should say back, why not say same to you? I ask for no more. I'm quoting him, of course. Now, our successes are conditioned by the amount of risk we take. He said earlier on today, I visited a local farmer about 3 miles from where I live. He could not have been more than 55, but he said he was already too old to farm vigorously. He still suffered, he said, from the physical energy he displayed as a farmer in his younger days. Pay attention to this beautiful story. Around his hut were two pepper bushes. There were cocoyams growing around him. There were snail shells, which had given him meat. There must have been more around the banana trees, you know. He hardly ever went out to town to buy things. He was self-sufficient. The car or the bus, the telephone or the television, the newspaper, Vietnam or China were nothing to him. He had no ambition whatsoever. He told me, I'm not sure if you are already envious. He told me he had no ambitions whatsoever. Now, I'm not sure if you are already envious of him, but were we all to revert to such a life, we would practically be driven back to cave dwellings. On the other hand, try to put yourself in the position of the Russian or American astronaut. Any moment now, the count 3, 2, 1 is going to go, and you are going to be shot into the atmosphere. And soon you'll be whirling around Earth at the speed of 6 miles per second. If you get so fired into the atmosphere and you forget what to do to ensure your return to Earth, one of the things that might happen to you is that you could become forever a satellite, going around the Earth until you die of starvation. And even then, your body will continue the gyration. When therefore you are depressed and padded to be shot into the sky, you know only too well that you are going on the roughest road man has ever trodden. Now, he said, after all this whole story, let me cut it short. The big fish is never caught in shallow waters. You have to go into the open sea. The biggest businessmen make decisions with lightning speed and carry them out with equal celerity. They do not dare delay or dally. Time would pass them if they did. The biggest successes are preceded by the greatest of heartburnings. You should read the stories of the bomber pilots of the World War II. The Russian pilot, the German pilot, the American pilot, the British pilot. They all suffered exactly the same physical and mental tension before a raid on enemy territory. There were no alternative routes for those who most genuinely believed in victory for their sides. Remember, you cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. Throughout the world, there is no pain without pain. Pain, of course, is victory song. Now, Jawahar has put it so well. He said, I am paraphrasing him. He wants to meet his troubles in a frontal attack. He wants to see himself tossed in the aperture between the two horns of a bull. Blah, 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 blah. Now, when my sister and I were young and we slept on our small mats round our mother, she always woke up at 6 a.m. for morning prayers. She always said prayers on our behalf, but ended the prayer like this: may we not enter into any dangers or get into any difficulty this day. It took me almost 30 years to dislodge the cankerworm in my mother's sentiments. I found by hard experience that all that is noble and laudable was to be achieved only through difficulties and trials and tears and dangers. There are no other roads. I'll repeat that. I found by hard experience that all that is noble, laudable, and laudable was to be achieved only through difficulties and trials and tears and dangers. There are no other roads. He said, if I was born into a royal family and should one day become a constitutional king, I am inclined to think I will go crazy. How could I, from day one, from day to day, go on smiling and nodding? You know, life, if it is going to be abundant, must have plenty of hills and valleys. It must have plenty of sunshine and rough weather. It must be rich in obfuscation and perspicacity. It must be packed with days of dangers and apprehension. When I walk into the dry but certainly cool air of every January 1st, I wish myself plenty of tears and laughter, plenty of happiness and unhappiness, plenty of failures and success, plenty of abuse and praise. It is impossible to win ultimately without a rich measure of intermixture in such a menu. Life will be worthless without the Lord. We do not achieve much in this country because we are so scared of taking risks. We all want the smooth and well-paved road, while the reason the Americans and others succeeded so well is that they took such great risk. If therefore you are out in this new year to win any target you have set for yourself, please accept my prayers and your elixir. May your road be rough. Powerful. May your road be rough. Now, a lot of people do not understand what this means. May your road be rough. You cannot fight misfortune. I will tell you again. You can't fight misfortune. It would happen. It would happen. There are different ways misfortune show up. Right? It's an inevitable experience. It could come from, personal setbacks, professional failures, health challenges. Somebody just wakes up and is diagnosed of one illness, terminal. And you are thinking, you just wake up one morning and a loved one is diagnosed of an illness. You just wake up one morning and one financial crisis. Okay, so there was a friend that came to me some months ago, and he was looking for an office space. He said, is there any office space around here? And I was like, in this plaza, no, not exactly. But I think there's an office space in somewhere and somewhere and somewhere. And after the whole conversation, he was planning to move out of where he was staying. Now, guess what? 2 weeks after we had that conversation, his office building, the entire plaza collapsed. And every of his equipment, at least majority of his equipment, apart from equipment that were not in the office as at that day, were all damaged beyond repair. Now, what are the odds that the entire building will collapse into your office? What are the odds? Or do we want to talk about the unpredictability of life? The twists and turns that leads to both triumphs and tribulations. No one is immune to uncertainties. No one. We all have shared vulnerability as humans. The death of a loved one. Nobody plans for you plans to lose his parents. Nobody. But from ancient civilization to modern day history, humans have always faced adversity. Now look at what is in Israel and Hamas. Some young people just went out for a music festival. Nothing. They did not provoke anybody. A country just came in from nowhere, opened fire on people dancing unarmed. And before you know, that was the beginning of war. Misfortune. Misfortune. It happens. It happens. There are different forms of misfortune, like I said. Debt, financial difficulty. Okay, so I think it was some 2-3 years ago. I was doing business with somebody, and I gave someone money. Okay, please, you'll take this money, continue this trade. After giving that guy the money, the guy disappeared. And guess what? Just because I trusted in someone, I entered the debt running into millions. And you would think that was all. Few weeks later, or few months later, I was doing middleman in a transaction, a cryptocurrency transaction. And guess what? The third party ran away with the money. I added another debt into that. Who plans for all these things? Or do you want to talk about relationship issues? All of a sudden, one story or the other. Or do we want to talk about natural disaster? You are living in your house, JJ, you go out and come back and you discover that rain has carried your whole house. Or you come back and you discover that the entire building has burned, fire from nowhere. Right? Or do you want to talk about accidents? Who plans to have an accident? So there are so many reasons. There are so many reasons why misfortune is a part of life. No one is immune to it. No one. No one is immune to it. However, in the midst of your misfortune, there lies a message. There is always a silver lining if you would look closely. How many of you have, I'm sure most of us would have seen the pastor, Nick Vujicic. I think, yeah, that's his name. Nick Vujicic. This man was born without arms and legs, like no hand. No hand. That's how this man was born. No hand, no leg. Now the question is, whose fault is it? Was it his fault? What did he do, or what did he not do well? What did he do, or what did he not do well? But this man had gone on to become a phenomenon. He has gone on to become a phenomenon. Now, I'm sure you know him. He refused to let his disability define him. As a matter of fact, he's a motivational speaker. Funny enough. Like, he is a motivational speaker. What are the odds? Okay, let me see. I'm sure some of you don't know him. This is the person I'm talking about. This is the man I'm talking about. Pastor Nick. No arms, no legs. And he has a beautiful family. Beautiful family. Guess what? He uses himself to motivate people that have legs and hands. As in, he uses himself to motivate people with legs and hands. Now, one of my favorite series growing up was Harry Potter. And it was a bestseller. Bestseller. Now, the lady that wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, met a whole lot of setbacks. The death of her mom, divorce, struggling with depression, and a whole lot of other things. But yet, wrote a bestseller. Wrote a bestseller. Like, can you just imagine that? Or if we want to go through Bible stories. Now, you need to understand this thing. So a young boy slept. He dreamt that his family was bowing down to him. Very beautiful dream. Then the next day, happily let him go and give his brothers food. They decided, let's kill him. Like, how? Where did how did that whole thing happen? Let's kill him, oh. Then okay, let's not kill him, let's sell him. What was Joseph's crime? Is it his fault that he dreamed? I mean, those people that they're selling, they don't usually dream. Was it his fault that he dreamed? No. They sold him, he went into slavery, and very pious young man, very doing well, everything. Then all of a sudden, of all the men in the house, it's him, Ganga. It's him, that Joseph. Joe was the person the master's wife wanted to sleep with. And you would think immediately he ran, God will come and save him. Guess what? He ran. And because he ran, he went to jail. He went to prison. So, looking at it, you are thinking, this guy's life is filled with misfortune. He went to prison and was still doing good boy. Was helping people to interpret dream. And telling them, when your time reach, remember me. But nobody remembered him, Sam, until there was another problem. What am I saying? Everything you go through is supposed to get you to where you are supposed to be. Do not fight misfortune. Rather, look for the message. What's the message? What's that silver lining in that whole drama? How can you turn your misfortune? How can you get out the message from your misfortune? The first thing you want to understand is that it is a part of life. First, you don't need to do anything wrong to be faced with any form of misfortune in this life. Neither do you need to do anything right to be faced with it. They can serve you breakfast in your first 5 relationships. You don't even need to do anything about it. You don't understand. They can lie on you in the office and they sack you straight. It happens. The first thing you must learn, number one, it happens to everybody. This should give you some form of comfort that you are not in this alone. You're not. It happens to the best of us. First, you're not in this alone. Number two, always sit down and learn what you need to learn in that phase. See, I like to tell you, life is in phases. Life is in phases. When you are going through a hard time, please brace up, ask for strength, and go through it. You see all this question of, had I known, if I have known, if to say I have known, all those things are a waste of energy. And then tell me, oh, and then be no tell me, oh, that is the waste of your energy. You are already in it. Brother, brace up. Brace up. Because one thing somebody said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only option. You really never know how strong you are. Right? Be strong when you are going through these things. As in, tap into your inner resources. Dig deep. You cannot make omelette without breaking the eggs. You cannot get pure gold without passing it through fire. Stay and go through it. Go through it. Another thing you must understand, that every time you pass through one form of misfortune or the other, it means that you are close to the next level. That means you are about to move from where you are to a level bigger than that. And you are asking, how? Let me tell you something. One of my mentors will say, adversity is the food for champions. Adversity is the food for champions. There was a time I was going through a very crazy time financially. And I met my mentor, and we spoke a couple of times. And one day he met me and said, Silas, you should write a book because you have eaten adversity. Adversity is the food for champions. Don't allow this thing put your back on the ground. Adversity can serve as a catalyst. Your misfortune can serve as a catalyst to either lift you up if you decide or bury you if you decide. That's a choice you have to make. A lot of people face stuff and they get depressed, and before you know, they're into drugs. Before you know, they're into ego. Before you know, then they are singing for him. Nah, Igbo and coding. They have started taking everything. Adversity. Right? Also, look at adversity as an opportunity to learn. Misfortune always presents opportunities for learning. Misfortune always presents opportunities for learning. Because for you to get out of that phase, you need to acquire new knowledge. You need to develop better problem-solving skills in response to your adversity. You must be adaptable. Right? You must be adaptable. Another thing misfortune will help you do is it will give you empathy. So when you see other people going through stuff, you will know that your success is not completely deserving. And also the failure of others is not completely deserving. You can marry as a virgin, and for 15 years you are looking for child. And one will show that I've done almost 17 abortions. We marry, and before 4 years, you don't born 3 or 4. See, get this straight. Your success is not completely deserving. And the failure of others is also not completely deserving. One of the things adversity will help you do is it will help you develop empathy and compassion for other people. Another thing it will help you do is it will help you express your heart of gratitude and appreciation You will learn to cherish relationships. You will learn to, you will learn to appreciate the simple things of life. That can be very powerful. And it can lead to transformation. It can lead to transformation. So, if you put your mind on all what you're going through, look at it as a school. Somebody will call it the school of hard knocks. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. Now, I'm going to round up with an excerpt from the speech of the Chief Justice, John Roberts. I'm not going to read the entire speech. He gave this speech at the graduation of his son's graduation from secondary school. And I'll just go straight to the sweet parts. And do you know the title of this speech? Can you guess? I wish you bad luck. If it's in Nigeria, I say, God forbid, over my dead body, God forbid, the Piakwa, wicked man, wicked. Do the counts. Do the counts. I wish you bad luck. Now, let me just pick out the juicy part of this speech. He said, now, the commencement speaker will typically also wish you good luck and extend good wishes to you. I will not do that, and I will tell you why. From time to time in the years to come, I hope you will be treated unfairly so that you will come to know the value of justice. I hope that you will suffer betrayal because that will teach you the importance of loyalty. Sorry to say, but I hope you will be lonely from time to time so that you don't take friends for granted. I wish you bad luck again from time to time so that you will be conscious of the role of chance in life and understand that your success is not completely deserved and the failure of others is not completely deserved either. And when you lose, as you will from time to time, I hope every now and then that your opponents gloat over your failure. It is a way for you to understand the importance of sportsmanship. I hope you will be ignored so you know the importance of listening to others. I hope you will have just enough pain to learn compassion. Whether I wish these things or not, they are going to happen. Whether you benefit from them or not will depend upon your ability to see the message in your misfortunes. Bad things will happen to you. Whether you survive it or not is going to be dependent on your ability to see the message in your misfortune. I know a lot of us are going through stuff. A lot of people are going through stuff. I am going through stuff. You are going through stuff as well. Don't let it sink you. Don't let it. Don't let it. Don't let it sink you. It's a phase. These too shall pass. The night is usually darkest just before dawn. Don't ever forget that. The night is usually darkest just before dawn. At the end of the tunnel, you will see light. Hold on. Outlast your problems. Don't give in. Don't give up. There is a message in your misfortune, and I pray that you find the ability. I pray that you get the ability. I pray that you develop the ability to find that message in your misfortune. And I pray also that it doesn't sink you. It's going to be, it's a long road. Trust me, nobody here is living life with experience. None of us have been here before. We are living, there's nobody that is 50 today that has been 50 before. There's nobody that is 40 today that has been 40 before. There's nobody that is 30 today that has been 30 before. We are all living this life as they come. Hold on. Hold on. You don't need to blame the world that you lost a parent. You don't need to blame the world that you lost a sibling. You don't need to blame the world that you lost a child. You don't need to blame the world that you lost your feet. You don't need to blame the world that you lost your hands. People give birth. Normal people give birth and their children are autistic. You don't need to blame anybody. Find the message in your misfortune. Just then, and only then, would you be able to successfully go through this phase without killing yourself. Thank you very much. I want to really believe you gain some form of value. Please, there is no one immune to uncertainty. No one. And in closing, I want to wish you bad luck and may your road be rough. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow under the Growth series. God bless you.